Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World. And in this video we're going to go over the update maintenance for March 12 and the kit reveal for Hugo. For some reason they still haven't released the kit reveal for David, so that one will have to wait tomorrow, I would say. And yeah, let's quickly go over what they're going to release this Wednesday. We already know most of the stuff thanks to the March newsletter and the dev notes, but still I think it makes sense to quickly go over them. Yeah, we're going to get two new units, SSR plus Hugo and SSR David. So yeah, good. Then we have new content. The first one being the Colosseum Arena. This is a new PvP mode. We have no idea which kind of rewards we're going to get, and that's mainly what I care about because I'm not that into PvP. But I guess if it's fun on top of it, then that's definitely a plus, so we'll see. Then we have the rotation of the ignition weapon rate up. So every week there is going to be a different Secret 4 that has the rate up, and that's going to be really, really good. Because it gives us the opportunity to save up our keys and know exactly when the next rate up for what we're interested into, like farming, is going to be. So we know that in 3 weeks we're going to get the ignition weapon that we want to farm. We can just wait 3 weeks and then we will have the rate up for that. So that's really, really good. Then we have the usual expansion of adventure and art mode. Okay, fine. And then we have an improvement on festival content. We don't know exactly what that's gonna be. Well, the festival content are all the story events that we have with the release of an SSR Plus unit. And they're going to improve it. I have no idea how. And they're also going to add the Emily Talk functionality. This is like a sort of chatbot you can interact with. I have no idea what to expect, so we'll see. Then we have some new events. The sweet popping candy. I think this is the first time we're getting this event, so no clue which kind of rewards we're going to get. Then we have the festival for Hugo. Okay, the stuff we just mentioned with improvement. We don't know. Then we have the boost missions, the trial, and additional missions. We have the Tap Tap Plus, really good for Revolution mats. We have the Kun Wish Card event. I think this one is already an event that we got probably a few updates back. I don't remember which kind of rewards it gives, so it's probably nothing major, but we'll see. All of these minor events added up is still quite a good amount of resources, so it's good. Then we have the Kisei event boss battle and its corresponding ranking race. Fine. We have the two check-in events, the part 1 and part 2. All right. Then we have the Hugo's Luxury Festa that is going to begin next week on March 19. And for this one, we have no information whatsoever. We don't know what to expect, I think, but we'll see. Then we have the Mission Alliance Expedition Ranker Challenge. I don't know if this is going to be just the usual missions for alliances or if it's going to be something different. We'll see. We also have the Revolution Room Season 5 and Alliance Expedition Season 18. Good. Then we have the special summon banners for the two new units and the Gentleman Summon. If it's going to be the same as the Ladies Summon, then it's only good for people that really have no gentlemen or no male units duped up, and maybe you can get some SSR and SSR plus units quite for cheap, but it's never been really a great banner. So if they didn't improve it from the ladies version, it's probably not worth pulling on that one. We'll see. We also have new bundles as usual. We'll see what they're going to release. And then in miscellaneous, we have a very important thing, and that is improvements and modifications to old units. And we have buffs for Data Urek, Data Sensio, Data Eden, and Karaka. Karaka is already a good unit, pretty solid, so the buffs will make him even better. That's definitely a good one. We can expect great things from this buff. We have the buff for Kun Eden. This guy is already meta and will basically always be. So I don't know why they decided to buff him. And yes, I think this is going to be a buff because, I mean, nerf would make no sense and it's impossible. They would have to nerf the base kit, not the Revolution. And all of these changes are only going to be applied to Revolution. If they were to remove both of the effects from Revolution, it would barely matter. So I think it's not going to be a nerf. It's probably going to be a buff for some reason. No idea what they're even thinking, but fine. For Data Urek, I don't think any kind of buff will ever help him because his kit is kind of meh, average, actually below average. So even if they give him crazy good revolution, I think this guy will still be suboptimal anyway. So we'll see. And for Data Sensio, together with the release of Hugo, it could be okay. Maybe we will see some okay interactions between the two. No idea. I wouldn't expect too much, but could potentially be a good buff. So definitely the two I'm most excited for are these two. Data Science will be a question mark, and Data Work for me is already failed. They cannot really buff him enough, but we'll see. We also have the new detailed battle information feature. This one kind of sucks. I don't know why they decided to introduce a real-time damage dealt, taken, and healed information. Makes no sense. They should have shown the real-time stats of the units like swiftness, resistances, attack, defense, etc., just to have a better understanding of what's changing on the units. This is just useless. I don't really know why they decided to implement that. But we'll see. Improvements of the trial content, no idea how they're going to improve it. And then we have some general announcement and modifications and fixes. So yeah, usual stuff. Overall, pretty good. There is a lot of stuff going on for this update. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Now we can have a quick look at the kit reveal for Hugo. And we already saw Hugo has been buffed compared to the manhwa version, but fine, I guess. And then we can have a look at the video first, and later we're going to read the descriptions for all the skills. So let's see.
I'm
So,
Hugo, the
Yellow
brightest gem
Assassin,
in
as we already
Pobino's
knew.
army.
As the first anti-skill is going to release a beam that penetrates enemies and deals damage. Then she has a dash with a stun and knockback on the enemies around.
Elegant
Special move
Destructor.
is a
Black
AoE attack.
Mandarin.
Fine,
Ignition!
not too bad. And we also notice that she had the shield on all the time. And that's going to be important because that's basically the passive. And for the passive, at the start of the battle, she's going to target the enemy with the highest attack and mark them as a luxury item. And this is the enemy that at the start of the battle had the highest attack. If the attack of another unit changes during the battle, her targeting will not change. The only scenario where the targeting changes is when the luxury enemy dies. So until then, she's always going to attack the enemy that is marked, so that is the luxury item, and she's immune to command and provoke. And Fascinate is also a command crowd control. So if you are against the Yasracha and you place Hugo in the mirroring position, Hugo will still go against the highest attack enemy, which is pretty cool. The same targeting as regular Yuri, but again, regular Yuri changes the target based on the current highest attack enemy. For Hugo is always going to be the same target until that one dies. And when it dies, she's going to find a new target. As simple as that. Then we have this additional part here that is a bit tricky because looking at Yasracha Revolution 5, how it is worded, is pretty similar. And Yasracha Revolution 5 is also, again, a passive upgrade, and it applies to every single skill. For Hugo, we don't know if it's going to be when she selects a target that is going to proc this effect or whenever a skill is used. We don't know. I would assume is going to proc every time she uses an active skill or the special move, because in the video we saw she had the shield up all the time, or if it is applied only when like a new luxury item is defined, then this duration better be pretty long. So yeah, what happens when this condition that is at the moment unknown is triggered? She's going to create a luxury shield with a max durability of a number lasting for a certain duration. Whenever she takes damage from an enemy other than the luxury item enemy while the shield is active, the damage is nullified. Really, really good. And if she takes damage from the luxury item enemy, the luxury shield absorbs it, So again, nullifies the damage, but the durability decreases by 1. I would say, I don't know why they also wrote n here, but it's going to be 1. So really, really good. So ability is going to be really nice. We need to see how high of an uptime you can have on the luxury shield, but this looks promising, so we'll see. So far, really good start. The passive is really, really solid. Then for the active skill, that is the dash that we saw, so the second active skill, is going to become immune to status effects for, again, the duration of the skill, and strike an enemy with Black Mandarin, dealing a percentage of attack as damage, pushing them to the edge of the battlefield, and stealing a percentage from their attack and defense. So stealing a percentage from, not of, their attack and defense, which is pretty interesting. I don't know the way it's worded, but we'll see in a second why it is worded like that. And this is going to last until the end of the battle. Cannot be removed with debuff removals or buff removals. So both the debuff you apply on the enemy and the buff that she applies to herself cannot be removed. But there is a steal limit. So you can only steal up to a percentage of the caster's attack and defense. So you're going to take from their attack and defense up to, I have no idea how high of a percentage that's going to be. Let's say 200% of Hugo attack and defense, which in adventure is very minimal. For PvP, this could be pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see exactly how this is going to work. She's then going to dash towards the enemy and cause Shinsu to explode, dealing a percentage of attack as damage to enemies within range, and the target is stunned for duration, and other enemies are knocked back. Overall, pretty good. Also, we saw it in the video. It looked pretty nice. Attack and defense steal effect is only applied to one enemy, and if the target is changed, the existing effects are removed, which seems a bit weird, but with the fact that she can only target one enemy and she will always use that skill on that given enemy, this basically just means when that enemy is dead, you will hold the buff. So even if the enemy is removed, you will still have the attack and defense buff. But as soon as you use this active skill again on a different target, so on your next target, you're going to steal attack and defense from them and replace the previous buff you had. So you could have an increase in attack and defense increase based on who the target is, or you could have a decrease. I mean, it will change adjusting to the new enemy you're fighting. So that's all this means, basically. Then we have the other active skill. This is super basic. It's just a Shinsu beam that pierces enemies and deals damage. The attack coefficient increases by, based on how many debuffs the target has. Doesn't matter, seems way too simple. Probably exclusive equipment or Revolution will buff it. We'll see. Then we have the special move, and in this one, Hugo is also going to become immune to status effects, igniting Black Mandarin, and dealing a percentage of her attack as damage to enemies within range. The range seems to be similar to Yasracha special move range, and is she's going to steal a percentage of the attack and defense from the targeted enemies for a duration. This one can be cleansed with debuff removals and with buff removals, so fine, but it's still quite a good debuff to have. And she's going to stack up to a number of times, we don't know, probably 3, something like that. And there is a cap to how much you can steal per every single stack based on the caster attack and defense. Pretty good effect overall. But what's most important is what's coming here. So enemies hit by this attack lose all buffs. So this is going to be the 4th unit that has a buff removal, which will probably be annoying for adventure. This unit is definitely going to be a pain in the ass as an enemy, but this is also a good effect to have on our own team. And then she's going to apply a stat buff block debuff and also stat block debuff. I don't know why they worded it differently, but for one there is the buff keyword and for the other one not. No idea. I think they are the same thing. So enemies cannot receive buffs for a duration. Good. And the damage taken increases to a percentage. Really, really good. So damage taken increase, you remove all buffs, and you prevent new buffs from being applied. So I think this is really, really good effect. overall, her utility and survivability look really good. She doesn't have max HP damage, so her killing potential is a question mark. It will depend on how high of a percentage this is going to be. But I will say there is definitely potential in this unit. So far, she looks pretty good. We'll see exactly how she performs on Wednesday when we have also the information on the exclusive equipment and the revolution. I will definitely stream on that day. So, guys, don't worry, I will keep on streaming on every single unit release. So, yeah, there's that. And I will release the first impression video on the day after the stream. We'll see. I feel like this unit is going to be similar to Yasracha, but probably not as impactful. We'll see. Still, I like the utility and the survivability she has, so she could be really, really good. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I will see you probably tomorrow with David Kit reveal. Thank you again, and see you then. Bye.